An elven warrior trapped on modern-day Earth. Two friends with different destinies meet at a magical school. These are some of the stories we at Electric Lips Comics are working on. You can get your copies of both The Mana Chronicles and Tales of Mithril at elpmerch.com. Support independent creators. Explore the merch featuring exciting ELP Comics art with a wide range of designs. Electric Lips Comics. Imagination electrified.
Well, welcome, oil runners. Welcome back. Today we have Tanya Nelson, Momma T. We met her actually on a different broadcast with was it Sean, and we're so happy to have you on. So one, please don't troll. We're here to inspire, learn, grow with each other. We're gonna find out the tea in Momma T's life. Okay, so that's all we ask. But we're also going to be having the word on here. We're going to have a photography little class, not a class, but you can come on and talk about your pictures. It's called, or your artwork. If you're an artist, you've made sculptures or whatever, you want to share it online, we can go with that. We're going to call it the story behind the arts. So it's going to be like a support group. We'll have something for alcoholics, almost like Alcoholics Anonymous, or just anything with mental health, physical health, whatever it is. We're just going to be opening up different things. So different topics, whatever. If you want to come on, let us know. So welcome, Momma T. How are you
Uh,
doing?
Great. Thanks for having me. We already have Sean watching.
Yeah. Hi, Sean. But
uh,
yeah, what's
I
going on
got
in your world?
well. Um, I started out doing podcasts back with Sean. Actually, my boyfriend, little Bobby, uh, was one of his first guests on his podcast, Renegade Radio, and Sean was looking for a co-host, and Bobby's like, "Nah, that ain't my thing. That's not my thing." He said, "But I know somebody who's really into pop culture because that's what his fan base is, who his guests are. It's all pop culture based." And
Hmm.
so I was a co-host on Renegade Radio for a while, and kind of got my foot in the door. Thanks, Sean. I really didn't. I was like, "Babe, what are you doing? Why would I want to be on camera? Why?" Like, I got used to it, and then there was a point where Bobby and I decided, why don't you go out on your own? Why don't you do your own podcast?
Mm.
Because I've got fibromyalgia really bad. Part of the reason is because I've got fibromyalgia really bad, and I can't sit in a chair for 2-3 hours at a time. I can't. It hurts. I got to get up and move
Understandable,
around.
yeah.
And so Bobby and I talked about it, and he's like, "What do you want to do? Who do you want to interview?" I said, "Well, gee, all of a sudden in the last 3 years, I've met a whole lot of musicians." And one of Bobby's things was he always supported musicians. And living with a broke musician for 3.5 years, you realize how expensive promotion is, how much it costs to get your name out there, all the different things you have to do. And I decided that I wanted my platform to support musicians, number one, and get their names out there.
Hmm.
And and so Bobby, his music videos were actually produced by this guy, Jeremy Asp. And Jeremy decided he wanted to produce my podcast. So,
Okay.
because I'm like, babe, I have no idea what I'm doing. I am, um, let's just say that I'm not real tech savvy.
Hmm.
And it also
Same
costs
here.
a lot of these platforms, cost money for subscriptions and stuff like that. And I didn't, I wasn't, didn't have the money to invest. Um, oh, you're welcome, Sean. He says hello,
Good.
mucho gracias and whatnot. Uh, so he produces my podcast on StreamYard like yours is, and
Hmm.
I interview local, regional, national, international, and even some indie musicians and music personalities like DJs or MCs or producers, roadies, even,
Yeah.
and just to get their names out there. And our second goal was to get the youth involved with music, because it's a long hard road and they need encouragement. They need to hear these stories so they know not to give up,
Yeah.
what chase your dreams. So that's
Yeah.
basically what my podcast is.
So, yeah, so what's going on new with your podcast? Didn't you say you had a new co-host?
Oh yes, I do. So my first guest was Dwa Brown. She's a native musician, um, a regional native musician, and um, her and Bobby used to play together all the time. He called her his sister from a different mister, and she's got a beautiful voice. She's got a beautiful soul. She she's an activist for Native Americans and for the elderly, and um, she's also um, she's also had this band, The Spirit Remains. She's got albums out and everything, and she's got this new venture she's doing now. You're gonna have to pardon my fibro fog here a little bit. I've got to look at the okay. We're gonna do a video. Um, she's writing a screenplay for a video, and it's like
Hmm.
1800s theme Victorian. It is she wants me to be admin on Red Soul Production Company's site, where I'm going to um what is it she actually anyway, she said the screenplay is think steampunk Dracula. And then she
Quite
asked me,
interesting.
yeah. And I'm like, well, that sounds like fun. I've always loved
Hmm.
vampires, so um, but, she said she just asked me earlier, "Wanna be in the video at the funeral?" "Oh, well, yeah. I can dress in funeral
Did you
attire
say
and."
did you say a video at the funeral? That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
there's going to be a funeral in the video. See, I'm not exactly sure what her see, she's kinda like me, she gets the a little bit of the fog too. So, sometimes when she explains things to me, maybe she doesn't have everything out that she's trying to get
Hmm.
out of her brain, and I might not be absorbing everything she's trying to, you know. So, but no, we're gonna try and get a grant together and actually make money off of this project, which would be lovely because I I do all of this for free. Everything I do for free. These are just it's my passion. You got to keep the music alive, you know, and
Yeah.
that's the whole reason. That's the whole point of the show is to promote these artists, get their names out there without charging them ad time or anything like that. And then there's this um, podcast streaming company about an hour away from us in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and they air people's podcasts. And usually you have to pay for like studio time or whatever, but
Yeah.
we've got a deal where all I just run their ads for their sponsors and promote them, run an ad for them and say, "Hey, if you're a podcaster or a company looking for a good place to advertise, go to Grand Forks Best Source," and give them all the information and everything. And
Yeah.
they put my show on their show for free.
Nice. Okay. I didn't know that stuff happened, like existed. Um, like that one podcaster for everybody, or to do that. That's pretty cool. I never knew that.
Well, they've got all kinds
Are
of
they
different
everywhere?
No, Grand Forks Best Source. So, the founder was actually um involved with mainstream media and got sick of basically the politics of it all and the
Hmm.
censorship and whatnot. So he just decided he was going to start his own news company, and it's a live podcast show. You get news every morning at 9 o'clock. You get um interviews. He's like into racing and stuff like that, so he does interviews with uh in sports, so like coaches and players of all different types, plus he announces at the racetrack every summer. So it's there's a lot going on that channel. It's you want to gfbestsource.com. That's it's also on Facebook.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, I'll definitely check them out. That's for sure. We can definitely learn from each other on that end. We'll learn and connect with each other and help each other out. It's like you said, it's a passion to help. Definitely.
yeah, and I've never really done anything like this in my life. Oh,
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sean. He said John Roberts, also known as Robert Raymond, and his nephew Paul are in charge of GFBS out of the Ace Hardware Mall in Grand Forks. Thank you. That's a great information to have.
thank you, Sean. Um, no, I mean, I never did anything like this before. And see, Lil Bobby was really good about bringing out your talent. He did this with me.
Hmm.
He did this with the Y and so many other artists that I can think of, like Bubba Mackey from New Folden, and Lydia Rose from Park Rapids. She was on one of his videos. God Made Me Blue. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, he and see. So when I was in grade school up until I was in middle school, I had the same music teacher, and she gave me a solo. Every fall program, every Christmas program, and every spring program. I would have 3 solos a year. Fast forward to when I turned 21, I decided I was going to, go to karaoke one night when I turned 21 and, sing karaoke, and I bombed, like, bombed hard, like, actually got booze. Two different kinds of booze at that bar. Um,
Uh-oh, that's
and
not good.
I was just like I was like, "No, I lost my gift." It was just a thing I did when I was a kid. I'm never gonna sing in front of people again. And then, you know, I've always loved to sing, and for a few years I was in a 20-year relationship, and towards the end of this relationship, my mom had mentioned. See, I was kind of broke, and my mom had mentioned her favorite song. Um, she told me, "Oh, this is my favorite song. Is the Nora Jones song." So every year I practiced it because I was going to sing it for her birthday, and
Uh-huh.
it never panned out. I never got to go to her birthday. Well, 3.5 years ago, um, I started dating little Bobby, and about 6, 9 months later, my mom passed away a week before her
Oh my
birthday.
goodness.
And well, not only was I devastated, but then I was mad. I was like, man, I finally got this song down. when I when I have to sing it at the funeral, and both Bobby and my sister like, you are not going to be able to sing at your mom's funeral. And Bobby's like, you can't even sing in the car and next to me. You can't even sing along with the radio next to me yet. He's like, just I. He's like, but here, I've got an idea. So he gives me a couple of drinks, and then he brings me next door into the studio and puts the keyboard in front of me, finds the karaoke track with no vocals behind it, shows me how to run the keyboard, start over, record, listen back, whatever, and brings in the bottle and thing of ice and some pop, and he says, "Come out when you're done." And
That's pretty cool. And how did it turn out?
it turned out amazing, and he put it on a CD, and it was played at my mom's funeral, and
Wow.
brought tears to a lot of the family members' eyes because they forgot I could sing.
Like surprise.
Well,
Hey. Like,
uh, the song is "Don't Know Why."
hmm my goodness. That I think it was probably better to be on the track versus, and then you could just sit there and then just really take it in while it's playing.
Yeah,
Um, that
yeah,
yeah.
and I I even tried talking. I tried getting up there and saying a few words, but I was just, and I started choking up, and I'm thinking, oh, thank God he put that on a CD. They were right. There's no way.
Wow. Yeah, little Bobby sounds like he was a really cool guy. That's
was
um
he was very talented. He was very encouraging. He'd give the shirt off his back. Just he inspired a lot of people, and his music is still on the charts 3 months later.
wow. Yeah, because I was listening to what you gave me to look up, and I was like, wow, that's what I was missing. That type of music. Uh, and it's a to me that's kind of calming in my world in a way. Um, and one of those where you can put it in the background and then just do your chores if I ever do my chores kind of thing. But like, yeah, I got
Oh,
ADHD, so I'm like, yep, cup of coffee is always cold somewhere along the way.
you got to get one of those
But
Arctic mugs. And then I got one of those
listen,
great big.
I have so many cups. I Look, I'm trying. Like I even went down to as far as those cups that last like 16 hours of heat and stuff like that. Yeah, that's as far as I got, and I got a million of those, and I still have yet, and I keep buying them because I forget I have one. On top of, yeah, everybody else has peanut butter. I've got stupid coffee cups, but I
Oh
love
no,
coffee cups, and now it's overflowed in my house, and I'm like, oh, like,
you're not kidding about the coffee pots. I noticed my camera is freezing again. I don't know why it does that. I mean, the sound is still good, but for some reason the video freeze up once in a while. Um, and I've got one of those little mobile Wi-Fi hotspot things until my landlord gets the Wi-Fi hooked up. He still hasn't fixed the furnace either, but I am actually roasting. I've got a bunch of space heaters going. They keep it nice and toasty in here. I should probably turn them down to save him a little money on the electric bill, but with fibromyalgia, it's just the warm feels so good. You get cold,
absolutely.
and your shoulders start going into your ears, and
Yep.
everything tightens up. But no, Bobby and I were
Yep.
living above his bar. He has a bar here in McIntosh, Minnesota, and when he passed away at the end of July, he didn't have a will or anything written out or anything like that, so it went to next of kin. And well, I'm trying to think of how to put this. I was told that I wasn't welcome in the bar anymore, but it was based on lies. It was,
Hmm.
and um, which they really, I don't really blame them because a whole lot of people were saying a whole lot of stuff, and they didn't know who to believe. And you know, I was like, it's probably good for me to take a break from the bar, anyways.
Yeah.
I pretty much lived down there. But then, end of October, I was evicted from the apartment upstairs too because they needed the income from that to help keep the bar running.
Hmm.
So I ended up moving a half a block away. Actually, I found out the day before okay, 3 days before I was supposed to leave the apartment. Um, the third apartment that I had checked out here in town turned me down. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, then I found out that these kids that were working for Bobby and I, the apartment that they were living in, they weren't living there anymore, but it was kind of under renovation. And it's behind the barber shop. And I know the barber. He's a really nice man. Um, and I talked to him. I said, can you get the landlord's information for me? I'd like to give him a call. And I called his niece, the landlord's niece, the one that used to work, and I was like, "Hey, I'm really interested in that apartment that you guys were living in." And so finally, I get his number, and I call him literally the day before I was supposed to move, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I already talked to Ron, and I already talked to Angelique." He says, "Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still working on the floor, but yeah, just move all our stuff out of the way and have at it. Make yourself at home. The door's unlocked." Sight unseen,
Nice.
knowing I didn't have a job, but he already talked to everybody. It's a small town. He already talked to everybody, knew who I was, knew the situation I was in. That's the good part about being in a small town. The bad part is, people make up things just to start trouble and you get kicked out of the bar.
So, is it like your town, um, like how on the movies? I'm not trying to compare it that way, but you get that small town where everybody knows each other. It's nice and cozy, like you said. They know your business as well. Is it kind of like that where you feel very,
Oh
very
yeah.
warm and welcomed? But
Oh yeah, Senex is a co-op, and all the co-op members, all the old men, they sit down at co-op at Senex at the Senex gas station and have coffee every morning, and some of the rest of us hang out at Ricky's Repair and sit in his shop and drink coffee every morning, and then there's a few places in town where people sit and relax. I mean, there's like these cute little shops up and down the street. The grocer is a good friend of mine, and so is the meat guy. I mean, the grocer, you're a few cents short. He says, forget about it. Just get me next time. Or he's like, did you find everything? No, actually, I was wondering if you had this. Oh no, but I can order it for you. It'll be in next week. I mean, it is a
okay.
sweet. There's just there's bad apples in every barrel, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind living in a small town like that, but for me, it's kind of too small. Like, I need to leave for a
Well,
while,
yeah,
maybe come back and visit, and I kind of outgrow that kind of stuff.
it's
But I don't
very
want to be in a
convenient
town.
for me. It's really
Yeah.
convenient for me though, just because um I don't have a car right now, and a half a block away is the bar. I literally moved a half a block away. I didn't need a moving truck. I just carried all my stuff down the street.
Wow. It's that small? Jeez Louise.
And halfway between here and the bar is the post office, and a block behind me is the grocery store, and just past the bar is Rick's garage, and then or Rick's shop, and then we go down the street that way a little ways is the gas station, and there's probably two or three churches in town, one bar. I mean, yeah, it's quintessential small town, definitely.
My goodness. Yeah, no. Anchorage is not that. We got
No,
to
I
walk
never been there.
far. Yeah. Oh, there are little itty bitty villages, like literally, but you got a polar bear in that village, just right there, kind of thing. But yeah, no, but Anchorage is definitely not a small. It's
Well,
small compared to like Philly and all that stuff, but out of
well,
Alaska,
we did a
it's
lot of
big.
traveling when I was up there on a sister's vacation, um, and we did a lot of traveling. What is that main highway that goes all the way basically through the state? The
Which one? You got Glen Highway that goes up towards like the Fairbanks, and there's the Seward Highway is the one that goes literally to
Seward,
Seward
yep,
and Hope and
yep. And
Yeah, Seward is my favorite.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff on that highway. Like I remember stopping, um, there was supposed to be whales or something or dolphins maybe. I can't remember. We were
Oh,
like pulled
Beluga
over.
Point.
Yeah, and we pulled over and we
Yep.
were standing there and we're trying to wait for them, but it wasn't time for them to come or something. I don't know. I mean, we might not have been there at the right time of year or something. But then further down the road, there was like this like what are those called when you the little pull offs like I don't know what they're called, but it's like a
Oh,
just
like the side roads. Yeah, they are kind of pull offs. Did you see the Dall sheet? Did you get the
well,
chance to see those?
no, I didn't get to see them. But this
Oh,
one pull off, like it was almost like a waterfall, and there was writing on the walls. I mean, it was like it looked like the side of a cliff almost, but there was like water running down it, and people had like um put their initials on
what
it and stuff like that.
was it? Almost like well, when you pull off, there's one that's like a little. It almost like look like a caved in kind of thing, and it has waterfalls on all the sides, or
Yeah,
yeah, that is a beautiful place. And when it's iced up, it's beautiful. Like,
and then there was this big tree that like kind of overhung most of it. You could climb up it if you wanted to. I think I climbed about
yep.
halfway up the tree. I was like, "No, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna break my hip." But that's okay.
But you did it in Alaska.
Yep,
Like
yep.
that's
I was in
literally.
Alaska.
I
I
can
had to
at
get
least say I did it. Yep.
yep.
Like,
And then
yeah.
further down that road, there was like this cute little village and it had cute little buildings, and we went and ate it. And there was a bunch of little shops and stuff. And I can't even remember where all we went. I remember when we were in Anchorage, I think I sent you
Mhm.
this picture of of a restaurant. Um, so Bobby used to call me Thunder Buns, endearingly, of course. Um, but he was a butt man, so he had cute little nicknames for me. And then we went to this one restaurant, and they had really great food there. Um,
You
but
talk about the Mama
what
O's picture?
Yep, yep. Mama
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
and on the door it says "Best Butt in Town." And I was like, "No,
Hmm.
I'm taking a selfie of that." Yeah, oh my god, he called me right away. He started laughing. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
"We
yeah.
didn't have best butt in town until you got there."
Yeah. She used to have. Well, there was It's a new owner now, but the original Mama O's, the owner, she oh my gosh, like her fried halibut was absolutely to die for.
And
Like,
see, I love fresh fish, fresh seafood. I mean, all of it. I don't, I'm a Cancer, so apparently, we're the water sign, so maybe that it has something to do with it. I don't know if I believe in all that. I think it's amusing to check my horoscope once in a while because I usually do it at the end of the day. I mean, I don't do it in the morning to let it run my day or anything, but I'll check it at night. Just sometimes it's pretty spot on. Like somebody from your past showed up out of the blue, and is going to show up out of the blue, and you need to control your emotions when you're around this person. I'll be like, oh yeah, I did see so and so, and I wanted to start something, but I didn't. So okay, well that was kind of accurate.
hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I just love. I've always loved swimming. I've always loved the water and seafood. So I don't know what I'm doing in the middle of Minnesota, but I guess land of 10,000 lakes. You know,
I was just wondering the same thing. What are you doing? Like, seriously.
um,
Surprised you're
most of
not
my
bored.
family's here. Most of my well, a lot of my family's here, or I'm kind of in the center of all of them.
Yeah.
I grew up around here. Yeah, you know. And what am I doing here when I've got fibromyalgia and I need to be by the water? Like, I'm a mermaid. I'm a mermaid. No, it costs money to relocate, and it's scary. And I've done a lot of scary things lately, and um, I'm slow. I'll slowly get there. I'm eventually. My goal would be to be on the coast somewhere. Maybe not in Alaska, because why would I go to Alaska to freeze my butt off when I can do it just as well here? You know.
Hold, hold up, but they got. I'm not saying all the doctors are horrible, but they really do have a wonderful team. Like, um, 'cause I got it too, and it's like the team is just absolutely amazing, and um, I've actually been better off up here. The cold sucks, yeah, totally sucks,
And I like
but
sunlight. I like sunlight.
yeah, well, like, well, the sunlight, yeah, you get that. I mean, you still get light in Anchorage in the winter. That's for sure. Just don't move up to Barrow. Like Anchorage is cool. You'll have your light between 9:22 and 9:30, and it'll start lighting up. And then about 10 o'clock, it should be okay. And then about 5 o'clock, between 5 and 6. Don't know if you've seen my video. Was it yesterday? That was a 6 o'clocker video. Like
Yeah,
it was already dark, so it looks
yeah.
like that when I get out of the house at 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I get bored, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go home yet, but it's so dark. And problem is it's dark, dark, not like just regular dark where you can see in front of you. Yeah, no, thank God for the Christmas lights. Like I'm just being real. Like because you're like, oh, because then you don't know if a moose is coming out, and then you got ice, and then you got, and like yesterday I was kind of I had to go pick up eggs from a farm, a lady, and she is up the mountain, and it's been like rain ice kind of thing, so just pure ice, black ice.
Mm,
So it's
yeah.
fine on the highways, fine everywhere else, and then once you get up the mountain, and I have to turn into like an off road, pure black ice, point blank ice. So I'm like, all right, I got to creep down here. Then she didn't happen to have, she didn't ice anything. So I'm
Right.
just like this, when I get out the car and trying to find something to hold on to just to get 2 feet away from to get the stupid eggs to come back into the car. I'm like, man, this is a death trap, So,
And then you're
but
hanging
yeah,
onto the car and slowly sliding underneath it.
yeah, like pretty much. I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, literally, I'm trying to touch it. I'm so scared. Normally, I'm okay, but after the two neck surgeries and then my spine, if I go down, I am literally, I can break my neck. It's that fragile nowadays, and my spine is already jacked up from birth, but I can literally break it and be in the hospital. There's no, I fall, I go to the hospital. There's no in between on that anymore.
Mhm.
So yep. So I'm literally holding on the car. And then she had a mattress outside or something. So I mean, I'm just okay. I'm too short for this mess, So I got like an inch on one hand at the car, and then I was like, okay, so I'm by myself on this ice right now. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So I made it. Like it is.
Well, I
It's
tell you,
fun.
between the fibromyalgia, the pinched nerve in my neck, I also have bone on bone in my hip. So
Mm,
I might have to get that replaced. And I'm only 50 years old, so they don't really want to do that. But
mm-mm.
when if I fall, yeah, I'm probably not getting up for a while. I'm probably gonna freeze to death before somebody finds. Well, not before somebody finds me, because it's a small town, like I said, and people would notice me on the ground.
Right. Me and
But
cops will ask me, "Did
yeah,
you take your meds today?" No. Like,
and I've went unmedicated for way too long, and just because I don't I prefer to self medicate, just
mhm,
because I know what's in my medicine. You know,
mhm.
I know who grew it.
Yeah.
um, you know, I could do with I could definitely do without the cold. I Did you know that this is the second time I've ever been interviewed? Like,
Really.
yeah, this it kind of blows me away, like that you were interested in interviewing me, just because. So, Bobby and I had a mutual friend. She's been on my show, on my podcast too. Her name is Lady J, and so Bobby, when he bought this bar, he started doing this Women of the Blues festival every year
Mhm.
in the summer, and Lady J is a DJ out of the city. She is for KFAI radio, um, and she was actually the first DJ, the first radio station that aired Little Bobby music. And
Oh wow.
so they went way back, and so she came and she emceed the Women of the Blues festivals. But this last summer she was here for Women of the Blues, and she since she was here anyways, uh, sh- I asked her to be on the show, and yeah, oh yeah, she jumped on that. And like on the show, she's asking me all kinds of questions about myself, and I was just like, "What are you doing? What are you
Right.
doing?
It's weird, right?
This is my show. I'm supposed to be interviewing you here now, you know." And then so like a couple days later, she's like, "Nope, you're gonna be a guest on my radio show." So we did a phone interview live on her radio station. Uh,
Nice.
but that was cool. I was like, "Why would you want to interview me?" It's like, "Who am I? I'm not anybody. I like to sing and I like to promote people. I mean, also any musicians out there that um want to be a guest on my show, go ahead and um go on YouTube to Little Bobby Music. She's got these tags up here, or you can go to my website to check out my show. Yeah, you're a musician and you want some free promotion, hit me up. Um, there's also oh, there's the fibro fog again. I was about to say something in it. Um, it's over there somewhere. It'll come back around. Uh,
Nope. Understandable. Understandable. Yeah, it is weird to be interviewed. Or I actually, when they started asking me questions, I kind of found value in that, because the conversation went a little bit easier and better because it's literally just chit chat now. You know what I mean? And I was like, I think I prefer that. I mean, I don't mind interviewing. It's like, all right, we're like besties or whatever kind of thing. And just, yeah, to me, it's a lot easier. But
yeah,
it's weird.
because
It's weird because I don't speak on my life, in person like either. So it's kind of weird, like,
that's
unless
that's
it's
why
necessary.
I wanted to word it in a when I was talking about the bar and everything that went on, I wanted to word it in a way where I'm not trying to talk down about anybody or anything like that. My my whole life, all I've done is taken care of other people and
Hmm.
promote other people and help other people build themselves up and talk about other people in a good way, you know. So it was weird for me when First Lady J, I'm like, why would you want me? I'm like, oh, you've got your podcast and it's so cool and you're promoting musicians and they need that and yeah, and you're just an awesome person. And I'm like, stop that. You're making me feel weird.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Been there. I'm still kind of there, but you'll start getting used to it. Because I mean, every voice matters, honestly, and that's why I
Yeah,
did mine. Like, I've been helping a lot of people, um, and to be able to give that to people, their own voice, their pulling out their gifts and supporting and all that stuff. And to me, it helps me out too, honestly, because I have new friends, I have new, like it's not about the technical broadcast itself. It's more literally inspiring, learning, and growing with each other. Because it is kind of
absolutely.
nice to
Oh,
like.
and by the way,
Some,
I saw the
mm.
pictures of your new hairstyle and color, and I love it. It's beautiful. I know it's like,
Oh,
oh,
thank
God,
you,
you can't see it right now, but I really like that. It's very pretty. Just wanted to tell you
thank
that.
you, thank you. Yeah, that thing took what, 5 hours, 5.5 hours to do. I went to. I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but it is a school
Mm.
for the for. But I mean, the girl did great. But I'm like, okay, why is it taking like that long to do? So like, I literally closed the place out.
Did they have to bleach
I
it
went
out
in
first?
there. Honestly, they did, but they did it less. They only did it with the blonde pieces, and it wasn't that many. So she did the whole foil mess. But it only took, it was like what, 30 minutes each. So she had like, when she was going in, she did the brown, the light brown. Didn't have to bleach nothing on that one, and then that whole head. So she did all that, and it was like, whoa, that 25 minutes extra after she got done. Okay, cool. Then she ended up washing it out, coming back, and then did the copper and the blonde together. So
Okay.
that was a good 25 minutes, you know what I mean, for it to do what it needs to do. And I was like, well, still, why did it take that long? But she was kind of going slower. And I was like, okay. And I literally said something, and I'm not a complainer, but I literally noticed like the people are sweeping this stuff out. I'm like, this is now I'm the weird one. I did not ask for much. I just wanted my hair. I didn't get my hair cut because I was just gonna do the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? The whole thing. But I said, you know what? We already took this much amount of time. I'm not even gonna. I'll just get the hair colored. I'll I'll work with it later. But yep, I closed
I
out
would
the place.
rather somebody take the extra time to make sure it's perfect.
Yep.
And if you're in school, you might that might be part of it. You're in school and you don't want a bad name right off the bat. You want people to see what a great job
Yeah.
you can do. You could be a perfectionist kind of thing, but you know, that's why I do my own hair. I dye my own hair. Yes, I'm gray and I dye my hair black. I said it out loud. I already said how old I am. Why not? But I cut my own hair
Yeah.
too because I literally can't sit in a chair for that long. My
Yeah.
back and my neck start to hurt, and I got that pinched nerve. My hip, they just it just doesn't work. I got to get up and
Yep.
move around or go lay down. It just yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't
I'm
trust people
gray.
with my hair. This is my look, man. This is my look. This is my head. Like you're gonna they mess it up, and I'm gonna be very angry. Very self-conscious for a long time. It takes a while. You get a bad haircut, it takes a while to go back into that. And I've got long hair, so yeah, I normally just cut it myself because I know how to do it. I've been doing it for 40 years, actually. When I was 10 years old, I cut my hair by myself, and my mom wasn't real happy about it. She had to fix it. So then I didn't do it again until I was like 15 or 16. Apparently, I
Yeah.
thought
I
she wasn't gonna notice because I hid my hair that I cut off. I put it in the mop bucket to hide it. Like she's not
no
gonna notice
no.
it's missing off my head.
Oh no no no. My
Oh yeah, I've
I
always
got
been in
banned
the
from
butt.
cutting hair.
No, apparently I was in the butt because um one day I was having a snack. I had cereal and I dumped it on the floor, and she says, "What are you doing? How am I gonna clean that up? Why would you do that?" I said, "Well, you can vacuum it." And she says, "No, I can't. The pieces are too big. They won't fit in the vacuum." So you know what I did?
Crushed them. Stomped on them,
Um,
didn't you? That's something I would have done, and then I would have gotten beat for it too. And then I would have been told, "You cleaned it up because you made the mess." Okay, but still, I got my point across.
oh, you said they were too big. I was just trying to help.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. Nope. Nope. My dad would never stand for that one.
Oh,
That would have been a chase around at the table or something, no, or maybe an extra mile run on the stupid track. You know,
get your exercise.
absolutely not.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yep, yep, that's where we would be at. Like, and no, yeah, but I would do something petty like that though. I could
Yeah.
see, I could see you doing that. Like, how we're
There was
gonna
a
do
lady.
that?
My great grandma was from Ireland, and
Hmm?
she had a little nickname for me too when I was misbehaving. I can't say it on this show, I don't think, but it started with we and ended with a word that rhymes with witch. Because she was from Ireland, so everyone was wee. You're just a wee little lass, but no, lass was not the word.
Oh, okay. Okay, yep. Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
Took me a minute.
I was a wee witch. Not That's not what she said though.
Yeah, I don't. My stepdad would call me all those, and he called me the C word too.
Oof.
The horrible one you don't call a female.
Right, right.
My
And
ex
see,
stepdad. Sorry.
yeah, my first stepdad, we had a lot of run-ins. We He didn't know, he had no idea when he and my mom started dating. I was like 8, 9 years old. He had no idea how to raise a kid. I mean, and I was a wee witch, so and he didn't know how to deal
Like,
with me, and you know, he never beat me, but he sure knew how to raise his voice and make you feel like a piece of crap when you were acting stupid, And for a long time, I held that against him. But, you know, I grew up and I had my own kids, and I was like, oh, okay. So my son called me the B word for the first time, and I darn near smacked him across
ooh.
the face. And I called my mom, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, Mom, you will not believe what your grandson just did. And she says, he called you the B word, didn't he? It's like, how did you know? She says, did you smack him? I tried, but he held his hands up too fast.
Yeah.
Like, as
Oh
soon as
my
the thing got
gosh.
in his mouth, he threw his hands up over his face, like, oh my gosh. And I'd never hit him before. So, uh,
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, my son, he wasn't too bad. I mean, yeah, he had issues, but he wasn't like one of those kids that just completely go off the rockers that you can't control. So
yeah,
spanking him was very, 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 very rare. Like, and I don't believe in smacking somebody across their face either. That,
right.
I mean, that's
And
a horrible feeling.
right. And him saying that and me raising my hand because that's what I wanted to do when he said it, that made me feel bad
Hmm.
too. Like, oh, I'm glad you raised you. I was actually very glad he threw his hands up over his face because,
Right.
and come back from that. Oh, but
Yeah, and then
yeah.
having that PTSD when he sees you, it's that. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? You don't want your child to be scared of you. They should be able
Exactly.
to come to you, be able to have a voice. Feel free to
Yep.
have a voice, but yet respect the person
Mhm.
within that. And yeah, I really couldn't do that to my kid, like, ever. I did
Yeah.
raise my voice, but when he used it was the F word, and a little girl, my parents were in the parking lot, and a little girl in the neighborhood, she came up to me and she was like, "Are you so and so's mommy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we just moved into the neighborhood." Now my kid, he was about what, four at that time.
Oh,
So we just moved in, and didn't know anybody from anyone. He was just playing with the kids and randomly, and the whole neighborhood loved each other. So all of a sudden I hear, well, he just said the F word. Say what? Like, and I looked at my parents because normally I get in trouble, right? No matter
mhm.
what, I'm an adult, I still get in trouble. So, I
Yep.
got that little scared moment, like, okay, so you take care of the kid then, right? You know what I mean? I'll take care of him when you're not here because, if I beat him, you're going to beat me for it, kind of deal, right? So I'm like, okay, and all I see is my child going, I see him walking all the way across the yard, and we're just like watching him. He goes all the way across the yard into the door, into our house, and okay, and my parents are like, "You gonna go handle that? You really want me to? Like, we're cool here, like, because this is we don't play that game, right? Especially when you have to respect the females as well. So that we don't play." So I walk in the house and I tell people, I said, if I'm silent, I'm an observer. I'm if I'm silent and I walk in the house or whatever it is, I shut all the windows, all of that, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with this. And the boy decided to close the door. He has his own room. Let's put that there. He has his own daggone room. Why he had to go into my room and close the door on me
No.
because he just walked all the way up the stairs and I'm closing
No.
all the windows all the way up the stairs and he closes the window closes the door and he thought he kept me out. You know what I mean? He's literally
Uh,
holding the
you
door.
knew he was
I've
in trouble.
never yeah, and I've never beat him before. You know what I mean? So there was no like, oh my God, my mom's gonna try to hurt me, kind of thing. But he
Okay.
knew just instinctively that mom ain't gonna play this game. We said the word, we're gonna figure this out later. I'm, so like I'm like, okay, I knock on the door and I'm like, well, one, how are you going to sit there and lock me out of my own room? You got your own daggone room,
Right.
that you could lock me out of or whatever you need to do, right? Because he would
Right.
throw dressers. He's 4 and he would throw a dresser. Like that's his mental health and all this stuff. So I was more susceptible or, I the way it happened, it was interesting. So I came in the room and he just looked at me and was like, "How in the world did you get in here?" I was like, "Well, this is my room technically, so I'm just gonna bust through the door." But
Right.
I just couldn't see me beating him. But we did have a nice little chat, like raised voice a little bit enough to get him to where I tried to teach them on understanding what was going on, and
And
you know, and
you got his
so
attention. You got his attention. You didn't have to cuss at him. You didn't have to swear at him. You didn't have to call him names. But you did raise your voice,
right,
so you got his attention, and he knew he had done wrong. If
right.
mom's raised her voice, then that means I messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't let me shut the windows quietly. Please don't let me do
Mhm.
that. I don't care if you're an adult or a kid. Like like that is my I'm
'Cause nobody needs to
disappointed. I
hear.
wouldn't yeah. Yeah,
None of the
we
neighbors
my
need to hear
mind
what's
is
going on in
like
my house.
like do I want to go to jail today or okay, so I
Mm.
got this
Do
person
I
on
want social
mental
services
health
showing up at
unit
the
today or
door?
the jail.
Social
Like,
services knocking on the door. Yeah.
yep.
Your
And
child.
yeah, and he literally there was another time like I'm telling you, this kid was never a bad kid, but he always did mess up stuff when it's necessary, right?
Mm.
But it was kind of funny because the cops were already in the complex area or whatever for somebody else, right? And all the kids were outside playing, all the adults were there too. And I'm just trying to get my child to get put on stupid shoes so he can go outside and go play. That's
Right.
all. There was no yelling, screaming. I don't understand why you're screaming at me on why at 4 years old, why you don't want to put on your shoes. Don't understand it. So he's screaming Bloody Mary, right? And
Okay.
next thing I know, the cop that was across the street came to my door and I'm just like trying to put the child outside with the kid with the shoes. I'm not struggling, but I was like, and he goes, "Ma'am, is everything okay?" I said, "No." I said, "Can you please get him to put the stupid shoes on?" I mean, like that's all I wanted. I'm not beating the child. Some of the neighbors thought I was beating the kid and all that stuff, and he was like, "We don't have to call CPS." No, I said, "But if you want to, go for it. But this is what it is. I'm sitting out here just chilling, like
Trying
just
to
out
keep
here on the
good
porch."
darn shoes on.
Yeah, he wanted to go outside, so I said, "Okay." I'm not opposing to the outside ordeal. We were having a happy day until you got to put your shoes on,
Yep.
you know, just crying Bloody Mary. I was like, "Jeez," And then next thing I know, we got dressers. He's a strong kid. I knew he was going to be strong and as an adult too, but uh, throwing
You miss them that
dressers
little,
and
don't you? I
huh?
got 4. I said you miss them that little though. Like they tell
I
you
know.
you're going to and to take advantage of it, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, because this kid's driving me crazy. Oh, just wait till they're a teenager.
Yeah, like
And
I
then they're
really do.
adults,
I really
and
do.
then they're adults, and you're like, I want my little baby back.
Yeah, like yeah. Now that mine's in the Navy and he's in boot camp right now, so we're back to old
Awesome.
school writing letters. We can't
Oh,
call, we can't send cars. We can write a letter, you
yep.
know. So I still got to write him a letter, but yeah, like we're on that old school, and I'm like the holidays. I'm a giver when the holidays on that end. You know what I mean? I got to make sure my kids have whatever, you know, the card
And
or
you send care
something.
packages, right?
Not at this moment. Like
Oh, boot camp, yeah.
this
See,
is his this
I
is
was in
his
the
adult
army.
moments.
Yep, yep. You ain't a kid no more. Santa ain't coming to you this year.
Yeah, that's a hard transition for a parent, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I grew up military brat, so I understand the military style, you know, and the care package, all that, you know, and I understand that. But being a parent to this, it's a little different on that world.
Well, I do have to touch on again. We are going to get this um red. What did she call it? Red Soul Productions, I believe, and
Hmm.
she is doing. We're gonna do. There's a Dracula lead for the video. She sent me pictures of him. This is gonna be so much fun. Um, I can't wait for this new project. I mean, I got a lot going on now. So another thing I was working on was getting my life insurance producer license because I can sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. I used to run Bobby's Bar. I can sell ketchup to a tomato farmer. I mean, I was like and the way he left this world, I know that I've got a good story to share with people and say, you don't want to leave your family like this.
Right.
So I was trying to get that. And um, the training course itself was $200. So I had, and the company that I was going to work for, well, I'm still going to work for them at some point. I just have to figure my stuff out first. But it was $200 course, and they said they'd cover half of it if I could get $100. So I borrowed $100 from somebody, and then I got through the entire course in the middle of this move, um, being all stressed out and waking up with migraines or not being able to turn my head or not being able to get out of bed some days. Um, you know, the whole fibromyalgia thing, and then trying to do this coursework with fibro fog and not being able to retain
Mm.
anything. And I finally made it through this course, and they're like, okay, now next step to get the job is to go um, to your nearest fingerprinting place, which was 2.5 hours away, and that cost $65. So I talked a friend into bringing me there, and she paid for the fingerprinting for me, and then the next step was taking the state exam. And my stepdad, well, not the one that raised me, the one that was married to my mom when she passed away, he bought me a new laptop, bought me a microphone for the show and a camera so that when I did the state exam, I could take it off and show them the whole room. Because in order to do the state exam remotely, you've got to like slowly pan around the whole room, the ceiling, all corners of the ceiling, all corners of the room, make sure there's nobody in the room like feeding you answers, make sure you don't have headphones on. With or a smartwatch, you have to show them your watch it or your wrists and move your garbage can, make sure there's no pieces of paper laying anywhere. So my stepdad bought me the camera for that and bought me this little I told you the Wi-Fi hotspot thing and put minutes on that for
Mm.
me. And then um so I take the state exam, which he paid that for that too. It was $45. And then the next step was to go online and fill out the application for your state license. And that's
Okay.
$60. So I got PayPal money to take this to apply to do this application, and I got to the questionnaire part, and it asked if you owe any back taxes, if you owe any child support, if you've got any felonies, and I do have a felony from 30 years ago, and I do owe child support, and I told my manager that right off the bat, and he's like, "Oh, it shouldn't make a difference. Just type up an email about the offense and blah blah blah. It's 30 years ago. It shouldn't matter."
Hmm.
Well, on this questionnaire, it says if there's a yes to any of these questions, provide the proper paperwork. So I messaged him and I was like, what is the proper paperwork for this? And he's like, "Oh, I forgot about the child support. You need to talk to my boss." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I talked to his boss, and she says, "Don't even bother," because she's like, "How far behind are you?" I was like, 3 years. She's like, "How much money is that?" I said, "A little over 10 grand." And she's like, "Yeah, don't, you can't, they're going to kick your application right out." She said, don't even finish filling out the paperwork." So I've got to go through and jump through a whole bunch of hoops now so I can actually start getting an income. Because
Wow.
I don't want to go rely on the state. I don't want to go on disability, but man, I'm getting to the point. I don't have a car, and I'm getting to the point where I can't do a normal job, you know, with the fibromyalgia and the hip and everything. So got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and we're gonna see what the doctor says, and we'll go from there. So life,
Wow. Yeah.
life is never never gives you what you expect. But with the self confidence that I've gotten in the last 3.5 years, I know I can deal with it.
Oh, absolutely. You're still here, you know. You're still trucking and doing what you got to do and working your passion and doing it. And I understand the pain, and that fog, ugh, sucks. Like, like,
Mm,
and having, and pretty much, I wouldn't say nobody's there. It's just you're on your own technically, you know, um, having to do everything,
yep, and I
because
never
nobody's
really have
sitting in
before.
your house to, yeah, and
But I've got some really good friends. I've got a really good support network.
absolutely.
I was going to move to East Grand Forks when I was evicted from the apartment above the bar, and I have literally have one friend there. She was going to let me live in her basement for free, and then um, like my kids are there, but only one of them talks to me out of the three that live in the East Grand Forks area. Um,
Hmm.
my oldest lives out in Seattle, but yeah, I was like, but I'm gonna be stranded there, like, literally stranded because I'm gonna have no income. She said I could live there for free as long as I cooked for her and kept her house clean. But, I just I wanted more. I wanted a chance to do more, and I have such a good support system here in this small town. All my friends are here, and I knew that they were gonna help me get on my feet, and they've been doing real good. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better than I was 3 months ago, that's for sure.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I mean, something I've learned was, like, for instance, I had Social Security and I'm going for it again because I realized I need stability at this
Mhm,
point, and I can only do so much in my life I can't work. I'm working, but I'm not supposed to be, right?
mhm.
Uh, but there's nothing else that I have. Like, like, um,
I wanna do more
but
than just
taking,
survive.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, but like, during those times when I had like the stability with the Social Security, I was able to, like, it was like stable income to where I can start getting healed up, without having to worry about everything else. I mean, taking that step back, like, okay, so now it humbled me out because I didn't want to do that. I wanted to work. Like, but
Mhm,
then I'm like, oh, and I realized the benefit of that. And then I got off of it because I was like, all right, so now I'm working because now I fixed it a little bit, fixed myself up a little bit without having to worry about this and that and this and that. And I was like, all right, so now I was good, started working again. Then my body went kaput again, like even worse. I was
yep,
like, you know what? I give up. Like, I'm going back on. And I got
yep,
denied 4 times. Four
yep.
times, right?
They do that.
So
I don't understand that.
yeah,
I put into this
yeah,
system, this is my money. Give me my money. I need my money because I can't do nothing right now. What do I gotta do?
yeah, I
Call
was going through,
Gotta call Aflac.
yeah, right, right. So I was like, I'm done. I can't. No. And then so my doctors, the surgeons, I'm going through surgeries every 6 months, and they're major surgeries. It's not like, and I was literally going into a surgery the next day when I was on the phone with the judge. And
Mm.
they were like, "Oh, well, you can work. You could do the bus system. Are you kidding me? Huh." So I was like, let me go for my mental health instead. Let me go back on that. And if they deny me from that, that's a definite sue because it's the same mental. I just decided to, try to do it on my own, and with the help of the caregivers, and trying to train me how to balance the checkbook and all that kind of stuff. I was way off like back then. But yeah, utilizing that the way and really gaining the ability to to
To get
figure
ahead
your life out.
rather than
Yeah.
just survive. Yeah.
Yeah. I say, cut the pride. Come back and be
Yep.
like, okay, maybe this will help me right here. So you have a stable home, you have food, you have medical,
I traded my
whatever it
car
is.
for 4 months rent in this place.
Yeah, geez, yeah,
I didn't have a driver's
yeah.
license anyways because they took it away for the child support. And if I can't drive
Oh,
it, then I might as well. I traded it to my landlord for 4 months rent and 3 months of which the utilities are all included. So, you know, I don't have to worry about a roof over my head for a few months. Give me a chance to get on my feet. But like I
yeah,
said, good
and
network. But
yeah. I
I
think
got
that
to
was
have
literally
this
try to figure.
podcast. I think this podcast is one of the things in my life that is actually making me feel like I'm still making a difference, like I'm still contributing to society, like I'm still
Yes.
there able to help people in the only way I can. Because obviously I can't. I'm not sending people checks, you know.
Right.
I'm not buying CDs. I'm not paying for tickets at concerts, but I can get your name out there for free.
Absolutely. And I call that you're finding your ability in your disability.
Yep, yep, yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
call it. And using the gift that you were given to give out and to keep, like, that's why the oil runners, we're helping each other out on different things, and yeah, and I say just don't stress yourself out. This is literally your podcast is something that's a wonderful gift, and start off with that, and then eventually when it's time to grow more and more and more, go for it.
And at some point with the podcast, maybe I'll actually make money. Maybe I'll have enough followers that I can get sponsorship. I mean, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing this free for the musicians. It's only once a
Yeah.
week. It's only 1 hour out of my day. I mean, there's a lot of there's other hours, involved with, trying to find the guests and book them and actually checking out their music. I found out, you should actually listen to the music before you promote it because
Hmm.
sometimes
It's weird.
it's it's not what my audience is looking for.
Right.
And, you know, I know my
It's not on
audience.
the brand.
Yeah. And I know my audience and I know they would be like, what is this crap? Because
Yep.
it's like, yeah, you learn a lot. Like, just because somebody is interesting and has a great story doesn't necessarily mean they're very talented in a way that you would think they're talented.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's an audience for it, but mine isn't the one. And I did learn recently that you actually have to listen to the music before you try to
Yep.
promote, because and that's part of the little Bobby brand too. Like, if he saw you had talent, he would bring that out in you. He would encourage it.
Hmm.
But if you sounded like crap, he'd be like, "No, get off the stage. No, you suck. Get out of here."
No. But we'll find another gift that you have,
Right?
but maybe it's not music. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely doing the research and checking out your, lining up with your brand and what you represent.
Yep.
does make a difference, and making sure the character and the integrity is good. You know, I had to learn about that, and then who represents you. Because they could be all crazy, and that's not who you are. So, like, if they're going crazy on the person, the people, the people aren't going to talk to you because they're like thinking that you're the same way. You know what I mean, or
Mhm.
whatever. It's like, wait, I'm not that way. What are you? Are you nuts? But um, yeah, then yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Because
this,
you got, you do your research. You want to support everybody, but at the same time, you have a brand that you're representing, and you don't want to lose your credibility. I mean,
right? Your comment. Oh, hi, Steve. Um, but yeah, that's definitely. Oh, sorry. Um,
hi, Steve.
definitely.
Thanks for joining.
I love the StreamYard. Like the lives are nice.
Yeah.
but
And I haven't
but
actually run it myself, but my producer does all that because I'm not good at any of that.
right. Yeah, I'm doing this from my cell phone. Like honestly, because my computer has like the memory issues, so I gotta buy a bigger computer.
Yep, yep. I had that issue with my old one. My stepdad had actually given me his old laptop before, but it got just bogged down so hard I couldn't video or anything on it, and I need to be able to do that for for the life insurance producer job and for the
Right.
podcast. So he's like, "Well, just give it back to me. I'll go get it upgraded." And he calls me a few days later. No, sorry, I've got bad news. It can't be upgraded. It's too old. And the next day,
Shoot,
he sends me a receipt for this new one he bought me, and I was like, "Shut up."
that's what's
Oh,
up.
like,
That's
I
a
love
huge
you.
blessing.
Well, it was
Right.
that, and I think maybe it was kind of out of appreciation too, because
Yeah.
I've got a really good friend here in town. So my stepdad hasn't been with anybody since my mom passed away 3 years ago, and I've got a really good friend here in town who she just doesn't have. I don't know what it is. She just keeps on hooking up with the wrong men, and they're just users or whatever they are. But I introduced my stepdad to one of my best friends, and they've been dating ever since.
Oh,
And they're so happy, and they thank me every day.
that's
So,
so cute.
podcaster, Cupid,
Oh
a lot of
man.
hats.
Right. So we gotta definitely want to keep bringing you back on because we want more tea for sure on what's going on um in your world. But if you could leave a legacy on this earth, what would that be?
Never give up. I know it sounds cliche, but don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on anything. If you want it, go out there and get it because nobody's going to hand it to you. This guy here, he encouraged me so much. He built up my self-esteem so much. I want kids to know that they can do whatever they want to do. If they like music, if they like an instrument, if they're into art of any kind, you know what? Do it. Yes, you can make a living at it. You might be broke for a long time. It's a struggle, but anything worth doing is going to be a fight. I mean, I just life is rough. Life is
Mm,
rough, but you know what? It's what you make of it. Keep your head up and keep on trucking, keep on trying. Don't ever give up because You're not ever going to get what you want unless you work for it.
Amen to that. Yeah. Never give up. Even when you're hurting.
Even when you're in pain, even when they tell you you can't work, even when they tell you that you're not smart, even if they tell you you're not talented, keep on trying. Because maybe you're not listening to the right people.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah.
need practice.
Absolutely. You go where you're celebrated and not tolerated.
Exactly. It's like that story about the old car. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the story about the old car is the girl gets inherits this old car from a grandpa or an uncle or something, and she goes on Kelly Blue Book and it's not worth nothing. She goes to the junkyard and it's not worth nothing. She tries to sell it on Facebook Marketplace and it's not worth nothing. Nobody wants to buy it. And then she goes to a classic car show and everybody wants to pay her, wants to buy this car, and the price just keeps going up and up and up on this car because it's a classic car, you know. You
Yeah.
have to go where you're valued. You are not in the right place. If you're not being valued, you're not in the right place. And if you can't change the place you're at, stick to it. Just hang in there until you can get to a place where you can change your place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
almost sounded like it didn't make sense, but I think it
No,
did.
nope. Nope. It absolutely made sense. Yeah, and we're gonna leave that on a happy note. So yeah, so with that, everybody, we love you. We're gonna bring Mama T back if she will come back, but she's always invited to come back, and we want to hear all the tea for sure. Um, but yeah, definitely love you. We love you from Alaska, and who you said you were from Minnesota?
Yep.
Min- Yep. Okay, I got it. Yay. Uh, so love from Alaska, love from Minnesota, and just keep the oil running on life. You know, help each other out, and don't gatekeep anything. Just keep helping each other. That's all. Learn, inspire, grow with each other, and just be an asset and not a deficit in somebody's life nor in your life. So we thank you for your support. We thank you for the love that comes through. We thank you for just everything. So enjoy.
Thanks, everybody.